Love Hina. This was basically the preamble. This was the they jumped Love Hina in. I mean, Love Hina, I want to put it as the focal transition point for the relationship comedy anime, because it is literally the spire of it. And anything that's come out since has been a subsidy. That's kind of like any magical girl thing that comes out. You know, I know they had magical girl anime they had before Sailor Moon came out, but Sailor Moon is what really brought it all together and made something cohesive. And everything that came out afterwards is compared to Sailor Moon, magical girl wise. You know, they don't compare them to magical girl shows that predate Sailor Moon. They compare it to Sailor Moon. That's what this is. Any of the romantic comedies in this general style that have come out since, like Ayori Aush would be a good example. Well, Ayori Aush came out like right after this, but I mean, there still is nothing like this. They haven't really made anything quite as good. No, they made nothing near as good as Love Hina. Love Hina is it's one of those ultra cult classic, will always be hard to beat kind of things. The only thing that I think is better than Love Hina before Love Hina is Kamagure Orange Road, because it was. Kamagure Orange Road was absolute masterpiece before Love Hina came out, but Love Hina is also a masterpiece, so yeah. You can all draw your own conclusions on what you think, but everybody appreciates Love Hina no matter what. Lost Universe, this is by the creator Slayers. This was pretty good, but the story and plot was pretty dry. I just bought it because I really like Slayers, and I was hoping for more of what I saw in Slayers, but I don't. My number 1 and number 2 animations of all time is Sailor Moon is 1, and Slayers is number 2. So anything related to Slayers I try to look into, and this, ouch, yeah. Lucky Star, I don't even have to explain this. I mean, if you're an animation fan, you already know what that is, or Japanese animation fan, you already know what that is, so it doesn't matter. Lucky Star OVA, obviously. Lupin, all the Lupin, not all of the Lupin, obviously, just mostly the movies. I think I have pretty much every single Lupin movie, including the one that Ghibli made. So, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Okay, so now we're in Macross. And Macross, I love Macross. I'll be honest, I absolutely love Macross. You're not going to see Macross, what's the newest one? Frontier on here, because I haven't purchased it yet. I'm kind of waiting for the Japanese to come out with like a box set first, and then I'll buy it. Honestly, I want Macross, but I know Macross Frontier is not going to come out in English, just like Macross 7. So I'm going to have to buy the Japanese version no matter what. But, you know, I'm getting around to that. So anyway, Macross Zero, this is the Japanese import version. Absolutely not subtitled at all. But, you know, they never release this in America, ever. They probably never will. I don't know why it's all these weird licensing rules for Macross. I don't know why the Japanese do it. One thing to note that I don't give a shit about Robotech. If you're a Robotech fan, I'm sorry, but I don't like Robotech. For people that don't know what Robotech was, basically it was they took 3 series that were kind of out in the same set of shows that were released on Japanese television during the Super Dimensional show line or something like that. And one was Super Dimensional Fortress Macross, Mospeada, and Southern Cross. And basically, people in America didn't want to just release Macross or those other individuals, because this is like we're talking like 80s here. Because Macross did show up in the 80s, but it was under the Robotech label. But basically, they took all 3 of those series and they just kind of jumbled them around and made basically a different kind of a different plot story and layout story, and with the different characters and stuff, and that became Robotech between all 3 of those series. I'm not really a big Robotech fan, I'll say that right now. I'm really not. I'd rather have Macross, the original uncut, and the original Mospeada, and the original Southern Cross. I don't need to see something re-chopped around and dubbed, which is really weird, because the Japanese actually embraced what they did later and made that Robotech OVA in Japan that I never saw because I don't really care about Robotech. But yeah, whatever. I don't hear much about that. I'm sure the Robotech people were fans, but I'm not a Robotech fan. Anyway, that's all of Macross, the original Macross. There, this is the original Macross movie. This movie pretty much changed everything. If you guys have ever seen Otaku no Video, this is the feature movie in that. This is the movie that gave the Gainax creators the motivation to create a studio and really start looking into, becoming serious animators, after they did the convention opening films like Daikon, the Daikon openings. Yeah. So, but that movie's epic. This was never released in America. Well, I think it was, but on like VHS a long time ago. And I think it might have been censored, but it was dubbed only. But anyway, I had to buy this in Japan. I actually picked this up in Japan in person. Look at the list price for it. 7,800 yen. That's pretty much $70 here. That's not how much I paid. I bought it used, but I mean, I got like 15% off of that, maybe 20%, which isn't a lot. Anime is really expensive in Japan. I don't think people in America realize that. Macross Plus, Macross 2, the movie. This kind of piggybacks on the original Macross movie. Not as good though. Macross Plus, absolute masterpiece. If you haven't seen it, if you don't own it, you have to. It's amazing. Even my dad's seen this because I made him at gunpoint. The English version of this is really good. The Japanese version is better. This is a conundrum for me. Here's the problem. Macross Plus, they redid all of the voice acting, or not voice acting, but all of the sound effects for it, and all the music. They rescored all the music, they didn't rescore. They put it in different locations, and they made the sound effects way better in the English version. The problem is the English voices aren't as good as the Japanese, and I have this really bad thing. Like the Japanese sound effects aren't as good as the American release of it. So what I want is I want to watch it with Japanese voices, but with the American sound effects. But I can't. I can only watch one or the other, and it just pisses me off. Because this OVA series sounds amazing. This sounds absolutely amazing in the English version for the sounds. I mean, just like during the 90s, the Japanese refused to use subwoofers. Like they wouldn't take advantage of subwoofer anything. There was just no bass in anything. And was this a Jet movie or Jet OVA? And it was very serious. And they made the Jet scenes in it and everything is. I mean, they put so much work into every scene. I mean, the animation frame rate is just absolutely incredible. I mean, still to this day, I can't think of many like it. Not counting. I mean, this is with 2D animation. This is before all the CG stuff came out. This is probably some of the most high quality hand-drawn animation I've ever seen in my life. As far as just fluidity and frame rate and stuff like that. Just looking at reflections and shadows and just all that stuff. Just amazing what they did in this. It still looks amazing today. You take all that amazing visuals and then you put it to the Japanese sound effects after you've heard the American sound effects, and it's just, oh god, it's so bad. So yeah, I wish they'd release. I wish someone would like chop out the American music version and one of my critiques on animation, why I like subs better than dubs, is because I like watching the original for what it is, and I do. I like appreciating the original creation. But the Japanese remake their shit too. The problem is they did the Americans, Liberty Media, when they released this, they did such a good job with the not the voice acting. The voice actors are good. They're good. They're tolerable. They're better than most anime you'll ever see today, without a doubt. I mean, they'll easily top that. But the sound effects are so damn good. They're so damn good. The acting in it is still kind of dry for some of the characters, for the English voices, but I love the sound effects. And I just can't go. I can't say it enough. If you haven't seen Macross Plus, you could definitely see it. But watch both tracks. Watch the English and Japanese, so you can see the difference between the sound effects. Because you'll see they'll hit sonic booms on this in the English track, and it just romps your subwoofer, which is just awesome. And you hear that sonic boom, you feel it. So you hear all the jet flames. You can just crank the volume while you're watching. But if you watch the Japanese, it's like watching just stereo mono. There's the sound effects are just dry and boring and yeah, whatever. Macross Plus, the movie. This is they actually added some extra animation in this, like stuff that you definitely don't see in the OVA series. It's kind of a conglomeration of the OVA, but you get to see some extra stuff that you didn't get to see in the OVA in it. Macross 7. I'm going to pause this for a second. This is the movie on DVD. Really, really, really good movie. Really amazing movie. If people ever see my character Milene, she's that person right there. That's the actual Milene. No, this is Milene right here. This is Comelia, her sister. But she's only in this movie only. I use both of those as characters in the game I play, so people see those characters a lot. They wonder what they're from. They're from this. This is an awesome, 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 awesome movie that no one has ever... I don't know anybody that's seen this movie. A guy from Japan, I was trading with a teacher that he wanted English dubbed anime, and I wanted new anime that you couldn't buy. And this is back in the VHS days when, you couldn't download this shit off the internet yet. So I was doing trading with him, and he sent me this movie. He just sent me a bunch of random shit, and he sent me this movie on VHS, and he sent me a really good quality copy of it, too. And this movie is just amazing. It just of all the stuff he sent me a lot of really cool stuff. This one was just, oh, God, awesome movie. Awesome movie. If you've never seen it, you should see it. It's sweet. You probably won't know what they're saying because they never released it in the U.S., but it's still awesome. I think they released it on DVD. I just haven't bought them on DVD. I'll have to wait. I'm hoping the Japanese release it in like a box set or something, and I'll buy it on DVD. Since Blu-ray era's out, I kind of want to wait for Blu-ray. I want to wait for everything for Blu-ray to kind of like buy stuff. I'm trying not to buy DVDs on major stuff I really, really, really like. And Macross 7 is a series I really like. Anyway, this is the Macross 7 laser discs. These are not the Macross 7 laser discs. I don't know why those are in there. Those are the Last Unicorn laser discs, which are also amazing. Yeah, so these are just all the Macross 7 laser discs. I don't have tons of laser discs, but back then, I bought these, in an era where there were no DVDs yet. Everything was VHS, and the quality of VHS is shit. It always has been. I've hated VHS. I've always hated VHS. I've been a big digital fan. I've always wanted digital. After you see digital quality things, you want to stay digital. And I know Laserdiscs are analog, but they don't have noise in them like VHS tapes do. You guys all know Laserdiscs are far superior to VHS. But anyway, just kind of show you all the Macross 7 Laserdiscs. Most of these are mint condition. I had a mint condition volume 1. Well, these are all mint condition except for volume 1. I had a mint condition volume 1, but I lent it to a friend in Canada that I trusted, and he said he put it into storage and he never sent it back to me ever, and I got really mad. But I replaced it. I finally found a replacement for it, but oh god, it wasn't expensive. It's just I couldn't find a mint quality one copy of it, so oh well. But all the others are mint quality. The Laserdisc is flawless. There's nothing wrong with the Laserdisc, and it's just the packaging is beefed up, probably because it got shipped here from Hong Kong. It might have been mint before he sent it. Yeah, Macross 7, if you guys have never seen it, I mean, this is one of those things where you pretty much have to bootleg it. Like, you can't buy this legitly and know what they're saying if you don't speak Japanese, so, you're kind of screwed there. Like I said, I'm not fluent, but I know so much Japanese that, when they talk, I know what they're saying when they talk. Like, you don't want to talk Japanese around me because I'll know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're talking about. I can respond. I don't want to. And I wouldn't be able to create complete sentences or anything like that. But I get my slangy response back. Basically, I'd understand you, I just wouldn't be able to respond to you very well. This is a special collector's edition thing of it. And this is that movie I showed you on DVD, but this is the Laserdisc version of the cover of the thing. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff like this. But so I have Sailor Moon on Laserdisc, Macross 7 Laserdisc. The other thing I have on Laserdisc is the X movie, but I have it in this super huge ultra collector's item Laserdisc thing. Once X is like the end of this entire collection, so I'll flash this over to that once I get there. I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, I'm gonna pause this. I'm probably just gonna cut this out, or maybe I won't. I don't know. Keep forgetting. I'll just record all this shit in one big stream and then I'll just edit it later. Though I might not edit it at all. I've seen a lot of broadcasts and people just don't edit shit. They just put them into different episodes and people can just like watch at their leisure. So we'll see. We'll see what people care and what they don't care about. Alright, let's see here. What else do we got? Okay, we're at Macross 7. So Macross Frontier should be here. But I haven't bought that yet, so I will. I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy it. I have to have all Macross everything. And Macross Frontier is the only thing I'm missing. So not counting Macross Frontier, I mean, this is all Macross ever released, pretty much. I mean, there is no other Macross, anything. Madlax, this was pretty good. This is just one of those, God, I don't know what genre I'd put this in. This is kind of weird. She's put in a weird situation where she's got to defend some other girl or something. I don't know. I've seen it. It's been a while. You know, when I say shit like that where I can't remember exactly what it was, it means that I remember that it was good, but it wasn't good enough where I'd remember everything about it, you know, kind of thing. So, Maihime, all the Maihime stuff. This is more, you know, this is borderline moe stuff. I'm not really into this, but because it's magical girl stuff, I like magical girl stuff. You know, girls transforming into awesome things. That's always cool. I'm all for that, as long as it's not super cheesy. Maho Taka Cuban. And I actually have, it's funny that I have this, and I also have this thing over here. You guys saw this earlier when I was showing you Guyver. But it's funny, this is a Disney release of Maho no Taka Cuban. But this is, it's funny that they put the actual Japanese title on here. I'd never seen, I bought this because, and this is subtitled only. This is no English, so that's one of the reasons I bought it. I didn't really need it. I forgot why I didn't need it. I think I already owned it or something. I had the Japanese version of it or something like that. And it was a better quality than this or something. I can't remember exactly. This might be full screen and the other one is wide. The one that I had was widescreen. I don't remember. No, I think this came out on DVD early. This is one of the very first ones that Disney released on DVD. And this is Disney, right? I think Disney released this. Yeah, Buena Vista. So yeah, definitely directly under Disney. But it's just weird because to see the Japanese, and like this is the only thing, this is the only VHS title that I've ever seen, that I even know exists, that Disney released, that is Japanese version only with subtitles. That's the only one. That's why I bought it. I think it's special because of that. I mean, if Disney had released everything like this, I would have just, you know, praised them back then. Because I could have killed for stuff like this back then, but I had to listen to these crappy English voice actors for some of the stuff, or just watch no subtitle anime, which back then was kind of hard because I didn't know that much Japanese back then. Anyway, actually I didn't know any Japanese back then. Okay, Rune Soldier, this was kind of dumb. The original title, Japanese title, this is Maho Lui. It's okay. It's funny at parts. It's funny at parts, and they have like a couple episodes that are just pure genius, but most of it's kind of not very interesting. Mahotomatic. This is pretty good. This is moe. This is where we're getting into more of the mainstream of what moe eventually became. This is definitely moe, but probably my absolute favorite, which is Nanoha. This is basically Nanoha, if anyone has never seen this, which I'm actually surprised. I've talked to a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that haven't seen Nanoha, though there's a shit ton of people that have. So, Nanoha is basically Dragon Ball mixed with Sailor Moon for the most part. I mean, it's Sailor Moon shooting gigantuous mega power ki beams like Goku does. It's that kind of shit. It's very high action, very, very intense. I'm sure they're little girls and stuff like that, but that doesn't take away from it at all. The original story is always the best. They made a movie based off of the original TV series, which is really, really awesome. Just amazing animation quality, amazing fluidity. Just how they represent everything is really good. The audio is really good on it. It's very, very, very well done. This is Nanoha's cult, without a doubt. It depends on the circles of fans that you're talking to. There's some animation people, anime fans that are really, really advanced in anime, and this is like, oh yeah, of course. And then you go to another circle and they're like, what? I've seen tons of anime. I've never heard of that. It's one of those kind of things. If you haven't seen Nanoha and you like, well, it's tough. You have to be okay with the moe shit. But if you're okay with the moe shit and you want to see big, hardcore action, ship blowing up and gigantic power beams and stuff, yeah, definitely watch Nanoha. It's Nanoha A's is like kind of the second season of it. Yeah, it's not really, I think it's pretty much the same universe. I don't think it's a retelling at all. And then they also have, there's Nanoha, which they never released in America. I have it, but I have it downloaded. I haven't purchased it. I'm hoping they'll release in America. I don't understand why they released this and this. I know it's the whole, Genion thing, dying thing, but I don't know why Funimation has not licensed Nanoha Striker S yet, because that's the one that comes after this. It's when they're all grown up, and Striker S is awesome. Striker S is like super. It's like this is original Dragon Ball. Goku did some Kamehamehas here and there, and there's some pretty big battles. And then Z was absolutely crazy overkill, right? That's what Striker S is like, and that's what I want them to release in America, and they just won't. And if I find out that they never will, like I know that they'll never release Macross Frontier, Macross 7 in America, I'll buy it. I mean, it's that good. I love Nanoha. Nanoha's fucking awesome.